Hello dear students, in the last video we studied reversible irreversible changes and desirable undesirable changes. Now to understand another classifications, you should know that every substance has its own physical and chemical properties. So when substance undergoes change, its properties also undergo change, and depending upon property it undergoes change. There is another classifications. These are physical changes and chemical changes that today we are going to study. In physical changes, there is change in physical properties. Change in physical properties. Which means change in shape, size, temperature, and state of matter. State of matter means solid, liquid, and gas. Now, in chemical changes, there is change in chemical properties. Change in chemical properties, which means change in chemical composition. Chemical composition. And what is chemical composition? It means change in material or elements from which matter is made up. So in chemical changes, there is change in chemical properties or chemical composition. So because there is change in chemical composition, accordingly there is a formation of new substances. So we can say in chemical changes there is a formation of new substances. This point is very important about chemical changes. But in physical changes, no new substances are formed. No new substances are formed. Now open your books at page number 11. Here we have firstly physical changes. A change in which no new substances are formed. Underline, no new substances are formed, and which can be reversed by reversing the conditions is called a physical change. Underline, which can be reversed by reversing the conditions is called a physical change. So there are two important conditions for a change to be physical, and these are: there should be no formation of new substances and change should be reversible. And if these two conditions are satisfied, then only change is termed as physical change. To understand this, very first example we have: an electric bulb starts glowing when it is switched on, but the glow vanishes as soon as electric current is switched off. So the change is reversible and also no new substances are formed. Therefore, the glowing of a bulb and electric heater is a physical change. Underline, the change is reversible. Also, no new substances are formed. Therefore, the glowing of a heater or a bulb is a physical change. Now, second example of a physical change is the melting of a solid. For example, a piece of ice which is solid in nature, when kept in an open, it changes into water. And water, when cooled, it again changes into ice. So this change is also reversible, and also the kind of matter contained in ice and water is same, and it is H2O in both. Therefore, this change is reversible as well as physical change. In fact, during the melting of all solids, there is no formation of new substances, and also the change is always reversible. So we can say the melting of any solid like ice, butter, sulfur, iron, lead, silver, gold is a physical change. Similarly, the freezing of a liquid is also physical change, because on being cooled to 0 degree Celsius, water freezes to give ice, and on being heated, ice melts to give back water. So this change is reversible, and also no new substances are formed, because in both cases matter is same, that is H2O. Therefore, the freezing of any liquid or water is also a physical change. Next example of physical change is the sublimation of a solid. As you know, in sublimation, some solids directly form vapors. That is, solids are converted into vapors without melting. And you can convert these vapors back into solid by cooling. So this process is reversible, and also no new substances are formed. Therefore, the sublimation of solids like ammonium chloride, camphor, naphthalene and iodine is a physical change, because there is a possibility of interconversion. Now tell me, what do we call to this process of converting vapors into solid? What do we call to this process of converting vapors into solids? Yes, this process is known as deposition. Write down. This process is known as deposition. So, same as that of sublimation, deposition is also a physical change. Liquid is converted into vapors by heating, and depending upon the amount of heat given, this process is either known as boiling or evaporation. These vapors are converted back into liquid by cooling, and this process is known as condensation. Now, all processes like boiling, evaporation and condensation are reversible changes. And also, the kind of matter in all processes remains same. For example, if here we have liquid water H2O, then here we get water vapors having composition H2O. So because all processes like boiling, evaporation and condensation are reversible changes, and also no new substances are formed, therefore these changes are physical changes. So next topic is evaporation and boiling of a liquid is physical change, because in both liquid is converted into vapors, and when vapors are cooled, they give back liquid. So change from liquid to vapor and vapor to liquid is reversible, and also no new substances are formed. Therefore, evaporation and boiling of liquid like water, alcohol and ether is a physical change. Similarly, condensation of vapors like water, alcohol and ether is also a physical change. So from this paragraph, we came to know that evaporation, boiling and condensation all are physical changes. Now, one more important point to note about evaporation and boiling is evaporation occur at all temperatures, but boiling only at high temperature. So, a liquid evaporates at all temperatures, and with increase in temperature, rate of evaporation increases. At the boiling point, the evaporation is the fastest. That is, at the boiling point, rate of evaporation is most. So, if I ask you one question that at what point rate of evaporation is most, your answer should be at the boiling point rate of evaporation is most. Now, next example of physical change is based on the application of evaporation. So, the drying of clothes is also a physical change, because when wet clothes are spread in the open, the water slowly evaporates and the clothes get dried. Now, these dry clothes can be re-wet by putting them back into water. So, because this change is reversible and also no new substances are formed, therefore, the drying of clothes is a physical change. So, from all these examples, we came to know that underline change in state of matter either by melting, freezing, sublimation, deposition, evaporation, boiling or condensation is a physical change, because all changes are reversible and in all changes no new substances are formed. One more example of physical change is the dissolution of a substance in a liquid. First of all, write on the definition of dissolution. Process of dissolving solid in liquid is known as dissolution. What is dissolution? It is the process of dissolving solid in liquid. So, sugar, salt, glucose and many other solid substances dissolve in water. We know. Now, underline the substance that dissolves is called the solute. What is solute? The substance that dissolves is called solute. And the liquid in which the substance dissolves is called solvent. For example, if we are dissolving sugar in water, then because this sugar dissolves, that's why it is called as solute. And water is the liquid in which sugar is dissolved. So that's why water is called as solvent. This solid sugar is known as solute and this liquid water is known as solvent. Now, mixture of solute and solvent is known as solution. What is solution? Mixture of solute and solvent is known as solution, or we can say a solute dissolves in a solvent to form a solution. What is solution? A solute dissolves in a solvent to form a solution, or we can say mixture of solute and solvent is known as solution. Now, the solute can be obtained back from the solution by evaporating the solvent. That is, from solution, that is, solution is a mixture of solute and solvent, and from the solution we can get solute by evaporating solvent, because solvent is liquid in nature. So, the solute can be obtained back from the solution by evaporating the solvent. Therefore, this change is reversible. This change is reversible, and also the kind of matter remains same. So, we can say that dissolving is a physical change. Dissolving is a physical change because this change is reversible and also type of matter remains same. Now, one more important point about dissolution is when a solid dissolves in a liquid, the volume of the liquid does not change. Underline, when a solid dissolves in a liquid, the volume of the liquid does not change. For example, if we dissolve 2 gram sugar in 100 ml water, then volume of solution remains 100 ml according to solvent. So this is because when we dissolve solute in solvent, then what happens? These solute molecules will dissociate and these molecules then occupy intermolecular space available in between the liquid or solvent molecules. I am repeating. If we dissolve solute or solid in solvent, that is liquid, then what happens? Because in liquid there are intermolecular spaces in between the molecules, therefore solute molecules dissociate and occupy available space in between the liquid molecules like this way. And volume of solution remains same. So you can underline in your book, this is because the solid breaks up into molecules inside the liquid and these molecules hide themselves in the intermolecular space of the liquid, because in liquid intermolecular spaces are large. To show this, we have one activity. And for this, first of all, take some water in a glass tumbler and mark the level of water with marker. Now, after marking this level, add 2 spoonfuls of sugar in water and see the level of water rises up. Now, stir this sugar and see the sugar dissolves and the level of water comes down. So, by this way we can show that on dissolution, volume of liquid does not change, or we can say when a solid dissolves in a liquid, the volume of the liquid does not change. And reason we know, because solute molecules occupy intermolecular space available in between the solvent molecules.